All right, in this video, we're going to be starting CSS3. So that's, the third version of CSS. So whenever this loads, some of the things in CSS3, there are border radiuses, border images, multiple backgrounds, and animations and effects, and more. And you got gradients, and box shadows, and transitions, and transforms, and all sorts of cool stuff. All right, so first thing it's going to talk about is vendor prefixes. So when you're dealing with different browsers, you're going to have to specify things specific to those browsers sometimes if you want it to look right on their browser, right? So I recommend downloading, some of the main browsers to try it out. And also, I think on some of them have, let's see if I have it on here. Well, there's, I don't remember which one I use it on, but you can actually try out the different browser. Maybe it's on Chrome, maybe it's on Chrome, where you can try out different browsers, like all from one browser. But best bet, download different browsers so you can see how things look on there. But all right, so dealing with Chrome and Safari, we're going to be using WebKit. So let's do here. WebKit. Where is border radius? Type out the whole thing. So as you can see now with the border, it's, adding a little bit of curve to the radius, because you're adding the radius to make it curve around the edges. So like, and we could adjust this. Yeah, 10. And it's just a little bit rounded there, and just get it to how you want. But then this is going to be specific to Safari and Chrome. So like if I went to a different browser, then you'd need like if we go to Firefox, you need Moz, right? Opera. I've never even heard of Opera. I don't know who uses it, but whatever. Oh, and Internet Explorer MS for Microsoft. But and Internet Explorer is outdated. But yeah, so those are different vendor prefixes to kind of style things specific to your different web browsers. Well, we kind of just covered border radius, but we could also not do WebKit and just do, you know, border radius 15. And then, you know, adds a little bit more rounded corners on there. And yeah, you can do it specific, like if you don't just want like all the corners to be, you know, that rounded, then you could do, you could specify each one. So do like 0, 0, 0, 15. And see, now I've just got this one little rounded corner, right? It's just saying, all right, you want to create an entire circle? Okay, make it 100. Well, that's because I have a height and width on here, but well, and then I've got a bunch of text in there. All right, well, if I didn't have, here, let's take all the text out. Or here, don't even need to do that. Let's just add another first div. It's real small there, but there's a little circle right there. So yeah, anyway, we could do that. Well, and here we'll add some height and width so you could make it a little bigger. Okay, there we go. Now I've got, you know, circles for our, you know, div 1 element. All right, now let's go ahead and add some box shadows. All right, so go ahead and throw in there our, I don't want to do that. Let's just do it gray. Something. Box shadow. And then, so we'll do 10, 10, right. So, you know, it's going off 10 and down 10 pixels. And if we wanted to get it to go the other way, you just make a minus. And then now it's going that way instead. So that's how you can go ahead and add some box shadows. And yeah, and then you can get into the blur and spread. So like, let's go ahead and add that in there. So now the box shadow looks a little more realistic and cool, like, you know, some sort of like actual shadow or whatnot, like being all blurry and spreading out and stuff. And yeah, and then this is just talking about, you know, having it add into, you know, negative numbers and whatnot to move it around. So, all right, so let's go ahead and throw some insert in there. Oh, inset, sorry. So now we want it to be inside our little thing. Now our little box shadows on the inside and like looking all, trying to look all 3D and cool and stuff. And if you want to throw it all around, and we just do the same thing, you know, negative. So let's go ahead and do that and just throw another line in there of it. What did I do? Oh, I forgot to add my comma. Duh. This is taking so long to load. Hold up. Oh, it doesn't look like my, I bet you it doesn't like that. So. There we go. But now it's coming from, you know, both sides all around in the little circle. So And then, yeah, and then you can, do add multiple, colors and shadows and stuff like that. So, all right, so now let's go ahead and add some transparency stuff to make it look all cool. So we'll just go ahead and copy the whole thing. And let's just get rid of all the stuff we've been doing. So now you can see like how this right here is kind of like transparent and cool and stuff, and like goes through that. So so I guess I'll just explain what's going on here. So we've got and they're using a bunch of different colors and stuff. Well, they're using the background, they're using a linear gradient in order to go ahead and add this transparency effect. So dealing with the different hues and whatnot, it's able to, I'm not really explaining this very well, but here, we'll keep going on from here. But anyway, as you can see, like how it's kind of transparent through here, you can do that. Yeah, you use background gradients and linear gradients and all sorts of stuff. We'll get into that. So now let's add some text shadow. So let's get rid of all this crap. Get rid of this. Oh, wait, I'm wrong. Let's get rid of this. Let's just add, let's throw in a div. stuff. All right. So let's add some text shadow. And then, so we'll do just like that. 5, 0, 6, 5, 6, 3, 6 for the blur. And let's just be gray. Keep it simple instead of all this craziness. So I didn't add any text. Probably add some text. Here is the so, you know, now we can add, so it's adding, you know, the offset. It's not offsetting the X at all. We're offsetting the Y by 5. So we're kind of, you know, going off, making it a little blurry, 5 pixels, and, you know, then the color is going to be gray. But like, okay, now let's change it around. Let's make this 5. So now it's more like offset. See how like it's looking kind of like back, kind of like 3D. It's not like coming right off the it's not coming like right off the letters like before. So, and you just play around with it, get it to how you want the text shadow to look. If you want to throw some text shadow to make stuff look all cool and 3D like that. And yeah, you can add multiple like this. Okay, so this is getting into referencing the different parts. So like, okay, it's in the ID parent, right? But then, so there's a couple different ways you could reference the stuff in it, right? So, and here, we'll throw this on here so you can see what it is. All right. Okay, so we haven't really messed with IDs in a while. But remember in the first video, I was talking about you could either do class with the dot syntax or ID with, you can reference that with the pound sign, number sign, call it whatever you want, just don't call it a hashtag. And then to reference, you know, the ID as opposed to referencing the class, right? And then, so if you're saying the first child, because we've talked about inheritance before, but now we're getting a little more specific into the inheritance, right? So let's just copy this. So now in here, so we're going to reference the we're not going to reference all paragraphs. We're going to reference the first child paragraph, and we want that to be green and underlined. So So now it's referencing, the first one. And then, let's do the second child instead. And oh, not second child. Let's do the last child. So now it's doing the last child. So, that's how you can, reference that. That's getting into inheritance, and specifying the parent. Well, I mean, it's even straight up, calling it parent. It's saying which one, and you reference it that way. But you can also, let's jump on to W3 schools. Pseudo classes, right? So if you want to know more, about pseudo classes and referencing, more stuff, I always go to W3 schools and, learn about this stuff right here to get a little more knowledge about that. And yeah, see, you can get down to first letter, first line, before, after. I know Sololearn will get into that, but it's a great resource to get into to, specify more stuff. So now I'm getting into pseudo. Oh, okay. Well, guess I got ahead of myself by taking you to W3 schools, because I guess they're talking about it here. So just like we just did, first, last child, you can also do, the first line or whatnot. So let's go ahead, copy that. This. So now for the paragraphs, the first line we want to be green. And they're all on the first line. So they're all going to be green, but we throw a break in there. Then, this one isn't green because it's not the first line, right? It's still in that paragraph. And then, yeah, I'm not going to go through all these, but you can do the second letter, before, after, whatever. Yeah, if you want to add images before, whatever, you can do that. And word wrap. So I feel like we have covered word wrap at some point, but let's go ahead. Well, we've got paragraphs already, so. We're gonna need to add some more text. All right, so. All right, so right now we've got it, word wrap normal. So if we, but if, I mean, you can do that, but like it's already normal. So even taking that out, it's normal. Now if you wanted to change it up, you can do break word. Hey Cody, I'm just doing a video. Oh, is it? Oh, it's because it's not broken up. So it already is breaking up. So let's make some long words. So instead of, oops, just being normal, then it's does it when the word breaks up, and this is like a long word, so it's just keeping it all together as opposed to normal. Where see it doesn't break it for normal, it doesn't break it until you're done with that word. It's just kind of overflowing. But if you want to break up the words, then you break word. So hey, Ray, welcome to the meeting. I'm just finishing up a video.
Okay.
So again, when you're getting into dealing with your different types of browsers and whatnot, if you want to do your font face different and you want to like import a font face as opposed to just using the ones that are built in, like you can import your ones you want, but you just have to depending on what type you're using, you have to import the in the format that they want. So as opposed to, but I mean, there's plenty of plenty of fonts, like, but if you do need to, but if you don't want to use any of the fonts that are available, this is your option for importing the different types of font. So you're not limited.
Hey, why are you recording?
And next is just a quiz, and I don't help with that. I'll help if you have any questions, but all right. Well, the next video is going to be gradients and backgrounds. So, all right, have a good one.